Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for suspending the reading. The amendment at the desk, members, will return the spending level in this bill to the 2009 level. That's about an 18% reduction in this bill's spending level and is essential if we are to begin to realistically grapple with the skyrocketing deficits and the level of debt that we are as a nation saddling our children with. The chairman said at the outset of this meeting that there was a considerable difference between the debt run up by the Republicans when President Bush was here and the debt run up by Democrats. And that's absolutely true, Mr. Chairman and members. I've provided you with charts that are available attached to my amendment that show the difference. Here in blue are the deficits run up under Republican control of the Congress and the White House, which, as Mr. Simpson said quite correctly, were too high. And I voted against. I think I calculated about $2.6 trillion worth of spending under President Bush, and we all feel that those deficits were too high. However, you can see how they've just skyrocketed under the control of Speaker Pelosi and President Obama and Harry Reid. The deficit has exploded under the Democrats, and the average deficit here is also illustrated vividly by this chart. But one I really want to bring the members' attention to is the table that I've attached to my amendment. And members, seriously, if you just take a look at this chart, this table from the CBO estimates, Mr. Chairman, that 96% of the money that this committee spends is borrowed money. Because as you can see, the amount of revenue the federal government's going to take in this year is about $2.1 trillion, yet mandatory spending, interest on the debt, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, will consume all but 4% of that money coming into the federal government. So we have reached a point in this nation where virtually all of the money brought in to the federal government in tax revenue goes right out the door to pay interest on the national debt, Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. We've reached a tipping point as a country that we simply have to reverse, or we will be saddling our children with crushing levels of debt. Let me close, Mr. Chairman, by pointing out I prefer to follow the advice of President Jefferson rather than President Obama. President Jefferson said that it was incumbent on every generation to pay its own debts as it goes. President Jefferson also said that it was morally irresponsible to load the nation with debt and leave it for following generations to pay because, he said, the principle of spending money to be paid by posterity is swindling future generations on a large scale. Because, he said, in conclusion, President Jefferson, he made this point repeatedly, that to preserve our independence, to preserve our liberty, we must not let our rulers load us down with perpetual debt. Americans must make our election between economy and liberty or profusion and servitude. So my amendment today is simply one modest step in that effort which we will be making as constitutional conservatives to bring this budget under control, back on a path towards a balance. And again, members, by adopting this amendment, we will simply be returning this bill's spending levels to 2009. That's about an 18% cut, and a move passage.